everybody. This is Glenda with Fralins and Friends Crafts Plus. I'm going to do something tonight I haven't done for a while. I'm going to read you a short story I wrote years ago. And it's a folksy tale called Thistles in the Corn. I'm going to try to get all of it in tonight, but if it's too long, then I'll probably split it up over 2 nights. Thistles in the Corn. Move faster, the father Elijah called. We must dig these thistles out of the corn. The midday sun was beating down, and Micah's water flask was running out. He'd sweat the liquid from his body. He felt dizzy and began to reel. One last gulp couldn't relieve the thirst. Dad, please, I'm tired and thirsty. I need a break. The father looked up as his spade half dug another thistle from a row. Sorry, son. I think we'll break until the sun drops over those trees. You don't look so good. He took a clean handkerchief out of his pocket, reached up and dabbed his son's wet forehead. Oh, you are hot and flushed. We'd better hurry out of this sun. I guess I'm starting to feel it too. Micah noticed his father's breathing was heavier and his face flushed with heat. Yet not a drop of sweat touched the old man's brow. Micah looked at his father with deep concern. Thanks, Dad. I'm not a baby. I think we both better get out of it. And you need water and some salt. You ain't looking so great either. They took some shade under their rickety old Ford pickup at the edge of the field. Micah grabbed some water and saltine crackers and handed them to his father. The older man accepted them gratefully. Then the young man picked up another jug of water and downed several gulps of it before grabbing a sandwich. Reclining on his elbows, he looked out at the cornfield. It was a 1-acre patch of sweet corn, but it was a money crop at the farmer's market. The father spoke, looking at Micah. Son, I'm getting old and will die soon. I want you to listen. Taking a deep, rasping breath, he continued. You must live a very honorable life. It will earn you respect in this world. Is there something wrong with you? No, I don't think so. I thought it was time to have this talk with you is all. Micah rolled his eyes. Dad, it is so hard to live a good and honorable life these days. I know you are an honorable man, but have you been out in the world? Even here in Podunk County, nowhere, there are drugs, stealing, and all that stuff we're told not to do. How do I live a life of honor when the world won't respect me, Father? Well, the thistles are like the things that seem small. They can grow and take over. You must keep tending your life each day as you do the thistles in this field. Even if no one person out in the world respects you, you get to respect yourself. The old man rasped as he inhaled. Son, you are wrong. I do see all the stuff even here. But I ask myself, who can you respect? You'll get your answer. The old man laughed. Now get some rest, and we will refill our water flasks and get back to those thistles. Micah woke up and felt coolness brush over his skin and knew the sun was moving on. The light would be fading soon. Dad, I think we should get back to those thistles now. No answer. Micah looked over at his aged father and knew the man had died. No color touched his cheek, the eyes slightly open and lifeless. Covering his father's body with his own, Micah cried, holding his father's lifeless form close. Dad, you lied to me, old man. You said you weren't dying yet. Dang you! Finally, the son picked up his father and laid him gently in the truck. He called his mother from the hospital. Ruth Ellen stood and looked at her husband's still form in the hospital morgue. Micah sat on a stool in the corner crying. Mom, he talked about dying at lunch. We dozed off and he never woke up. I'm so sorry. She hugged her son. Mother and son wept silently. In time, they had to leave Elijah behind. Ruth Ellen told the desk clerk to call Hope Valley Funeral Home. The day of the funeral, the entire church, where they held the service, filled past the doors with friends and admirers of Micah's father. The minister spoke the words of a friend and pastor, of the honorable man whom Elijah had been. Our brother has gone before us, the minister said. We'll catch up to him in our time. Love be with you all. Micah heard the words, but barely registered their meaning. He wanted to run away and hide his confusion about his father's final words. After the service, the minister took Micah aside. Micah, you are in so much pain. I could see it in your face. Your mother told me what happened. She told me you keep apologizing. Micah, didn't the doctor tell you it was a massive heart attack? It would have happened if he'd been resting at home. There is nothing to feel guilty about. Pastor, I'm not guilty about his dying anymore. Yes, I went through that stuff, but it's not my problem now. My father gave me instructions on how to live my life. I see all these people here who loved and respected him. How do I live up to that? You don't. You live your own life of honor, whatever that may be. And what of my mother? Honor her. That night, Micah's mother revealed his father's wishes. Elijah left this homestead to me until I die, and then it is yours. But to you, son, he left the acre and all it needs and bears. Mom, what if I don't stay? What if I want to go into the city and make a life there? I'd rather you didn't, but you are a man and have your own mind. That night, Micah tossed in bed, unable to sleep. His father's death still fresh, the dreams of a young man pressing him to do something all his own. Micah's confusion drove his wakefulness through the night. The next morning, he went to breakfast as usual. I heard you last night, Micah. You have been through a lot. Have you come to any decision? No, Mom, only more confusion. I guess for now I'll go to the field and finish the job. I'll pick the corn when it's ripe, and I'll take it to market. Micah went to his acre, looked up at the only cloud in the sky, shed a single tear, winked, and cleared the thistles from the corn. 20 years later, his mother had long passed. Micah remained on the homestead. He'd married and had 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls. His hair was graying at the temples. His wife's waist was thickening slightly. His children spoke of when they would grow up and leave home and make their own lives. Children, I want you to hear what I am telling you. You should do what your life leads you to do. I chose to stay and make this farm. And if one of you chooses the same, I will be grateful to you and to God." He took a deep cleansing breath. "I want to tell you about your grandfather and what he told me the day he died. Be honorable and gain respect. It will serve you well. That is what my father told me. And it's true. I promise you it is true. Stay away from those who will try to put you in bad places, like drugs, excessive alcohol, or loose sexual behavior." Micah drew another deep, clean breath. "We sit around this table that was my mother's, and I've used many more words than my father did, but the words are true." Samuel, the oldest, spoke up from the far corner of the family's dinner table. "Dad, how are we supposed to live honorably? Nobody even says that anymore." Micah looked at his wife and they smiled at each other. "Samuel, you find a way to live your life with honor, whatever that may be." And that's the end. And whatever you make of it, it's a tale that I wrote, and I hope I taught my kids half as well.